Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In today's video, I'm going to be recording guitars on a new Studio Rats song. Now, what I thought I'd do today is to show you my whole sort of recording process, pedals, effects, miking up, amps and all that sort of stuff, and then even go into the actual recording and me actually recording the song, warts and all, so I can show you if I make mistakes, how I repair those mistakes and how we get to the final results. As you might have seen in the last videos, my Grossman Fat Cab has turned up. This is an ISO box. Basically what this thing does is reduces the noise of guitar recording in a room by having a sealed or a semi sort of sealed cabinet, which reduces the noise in the room so you can really turn the amp up and get the most out of your amp, but still be in a quiet environment. The amp I'm going to be using today is my Matchless Independence 35, and that's going to be plugged straight into the Grossman Fat Box, and that's mic'd up with an SM57 and an SM7B. When I start recording, I'll go through a bunch of different guitars to try and work out what sort of sound that I want. Now, I think on this track, I want a Strat, so we've got a Strat. I might switch to a Telly and we'll see how that goes, and that'll depend on when I'm recording. So I'll lay down a track using the Strat. If I don't like the sound of that, I might pick up the Telly and try that, or a variety of different guitars to actually see which one sounds better in the track. So as I said, I'm using this Strat today. Now my pedal board's down here. The sound of the amp plugged into the Grossman ISO cab sounds like this. So that's the sound of the two guitars blended. Now, I might want to add some effects to that just to monitor with. So when I'm actually recording the guitars, even though I'm not recording some of these effects, I'm hearing the effects just to give me a little bit more of the sort of finished guitar recording while I'm actually recording. So let's turn on the reverb inside my software. When you're recording, or when I'm recording using reverb, as I said, I'm not actually recording the reverb down to the take. I'm just adding it as an auxiliary afterwards. If you don't know what that means, I might try and explain that a little bit later on in the video. But just so you know, the actual reverb is not being recorded down with the guitar, and I'm going to add that reverb again in the mixing process. So the sound of the guitar is this. Because I've got the amp set up quite clean, I'd probably like to add just a little bit more of grit to that, just to drive the amp a little bit harder. Now, I've got a couple of different choices on my pedal board down here. The first thing I think I'll try out is my boost pedal. Now, this is an Earthquaker Black Eye boost, turned up a little bit, and it's going to drive the front of the amp, and it sounds like this. So for me, these sort of pedals are like always on type pedals. It's a sound that I want the amp to sound like. Now, I could probably drive the amp a little bit harder just by increasing the input gain on the amp. But for the moment, I'm going to try using this Black Eye boost. Now, I'm either going to use that pedal, let's switch that off, or I can bring in the Vertex Effects steel string clean drive, which sounds like this. Now, I love these Vertex pedals. I think they're absolutely fantastic. And for me, that's probably the sound that I'm going to be going for, because I can shape the sound a little bit more without having to go over to the amp. So if I want to increase the treble or the drive, I can do that, where I can't really do that with the boost pedal. So I'm going to leave that on. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in this Rockett Clockwork delay pedal. Now, if you might have seen my last video, you'll know that this has a preamp on board, so we can drive the amp just that little bit further. This is with the delay pedal off, but with the preamp engaged. So if I turn off both of those effects and then bring them in, even though I might not be using the delay side of the Clockwork pedal, that preamp sounds absolutely fantastic, and it's just driving or just pushing the amp just that little bit more. Okay, so let's have a look at the track we're going to be working with. So I'm using Universal Audio's Luna for this. we've already recorded the drums and the bass, and we've got a vocal as well. So let me just play you from where the drums and the bass and the vocal come in.
Hear the lights cutting down a dark road, midnight and I'm on my own, and I'm thinking of you. Yes, I'm thinking of you. Go through conversations we've had, those times when I made you laugh with that beautiful smile. Yeah, your beautiful smile.
So you get the idea of the track. It's quite laid back. Now I've already shown you the guitar sound that I've got recorded. Now the thing about this track is there's a few different parts to it. There's an intro part. So first of all, let me record the intro part. Now you might not hear the actual click track that's going on with this, but what we want at the beginning of this track is just a solo guitar part before all of the instruments come in. So all the drums and the bass and the vocals come in. So what I need to do is to go back to the start of the track. I've got these two audio tracks set up here, as I've got two microphones on the Grossman ISO cab over there. So there's the sound of the guitar. Now let's record the intro. I'm going to stop after the intro. I'm going to switch off the click track because I don't want the click track going on through the rest of the track because it's going to be distracting, and I want to be following the drums, not the click track. So let me record the first part. So there we go. So I'm pretty happy with that intro. Now I want to record the rest of the rhythm track all in one go. So what I'm going to do is to duplicate those tracks, and I'm going to use this little feature here which says duplicate without content. Now that creates an exact copy of all of the settings that I've got on the previous tracks, but I'm not copying over the actual audio files. Right, let's take these off a record. Let's record the new tracks. Now the things I have to think about, the first part of the verse is a picked part. I'm using the plectrum. When I go to the pre-chorus, I'm going to be using my fingers. Now, what I tend to do if I'm recording a take in one go and if I'm playing live is I'll find a way of tucking my plectrum in my fingers. So for instance, if I'm sort of playing a part, and then I need to go to that bridge part, what I'll do is this, and I'll tuck it into my finger, into my middle finger, like that. And that means that I can then use my fingers to actually play fingerstyle. And then when I need to come out again, I can just shift the plectrum back into my sort of normal picking position and then go for the chorus part. So let's record the main guitar part.
Midnight and I'm on my own, and I'm thinking of you. Yes, I'm thinking of you. Go through conversations we've had, those times when I made you laugh with that beautiful smile. Yeah, your beautiful smile. My mind rises over these mountains in the skyline. And I'm there, breathing in your body, in your ear. Oh, 'cause I can take the moonlight shining off the lakeside. I can take
So as you probably heard, I missed the intro into the first part of that second chorus. So let's go back a little bit and I'm going to record into that. Now I'm going to be recording over the top of the track that I've already recorded, but I can then move the audio files about so I've still got the original take. So let's do that.
Hotel rooms feel so cool when you're not with me. When you're not with me. And I didn't know I could love someone this way. So I drive till the morning comes and I'm by your side. Oh, 'cause I can take the moonlight shining off.
So there we go. So there's the guitar take. Now, as I said earlier, as I missed that second verse, I can just drag this file back here. And that drags the first take in with the second take.
In the dark.
Now there's going to be some various lead parts that are going to be going throughout the song, and I'm not going to really go over a lot of them, but I do want to record the solo part, and it's going to be just after the bridge. So again, let's duplicate those two tracks. And again, duplicate without content. So it's over the verse chords. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to grab a different guitar because I want a slightly different sound so the guitar doesn't really interfere with the original rhythm guitar. I'm going to be using this PRS Silver Sky for this. Similar guitar, although the pickups do sound very, very different. So let's record the solo over that part.
It's coming over me.
Now I'm pretty happy with that, but the thing about solos, and especially with me, is that I want to get it absolutely perfect. So to be honest, I'll probably be recording that exact solo 15 times before I'm really, really happy with it. So the part's right, but I think the sound's a little bit thin for the solo. So what I'm going to do is just to change the pedals, let's take out the steel string and let's bring in the boost pedal. Give it a little bit more welly into the front of the amp so it sounds like this. So we're really sort of crunching into the front of the amp. Now, I could go for slightly different tones. So if I bring back the pickup selector to position 4, which is these two pickups. So we've got that sort of more, dare I say it, John Mayer sort of tone. But let's go for that. Now I'm definitely more happy with that sound, and it's different to the sound of the rhythm guitar part. It's a little bit more sort of mid-scoop, should we say. So it's going to cut through a little bit more. Let's have a listen back. I'm more happy with the sound, again, all of these guitars haven't been mixed, so the mixing process is going to be coming after the recording process, but I'm happy with the sound and I'm happy with the part. I'm happy with the pickup selection. I'm probably going to play this a few more times, and you guys don't need to see me record this umpteenth times because it drives me nuts and definitely drive you guys nuts. So anyway, what I'm going to do is to finish all of this and then start the mixing process, and the next video that you'll see, you'll be seeing the complete song. Anyway, I really hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did get something out of it, don't forget to like and subscribe, click on the bell button, and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.